So I've got some thick cut tomahawk steaks, 2¼ inches to be exact. I don't want a reverse seared steak. I just want a good grilled steak. So what about sous vide? Let's give it a shot. All right, so I'm starting with two 2¼ inch thick cut tomahawk steaks from 1855 beef, and look at these beauties. They've already been Frenched. They look absolutely amazing, and again, these are 2¼ inches thick. So these steaks from 1855 beef are upper 2/3 choice, and look at this. They've been nicely trimmed up from their butchers, so there's nothing I have to do to them. So I was just gonna grill these steaks, but because they're 2¼ inches thick, I'd be afraid that the outside would be cooked and the inside wouldn't. So I'm gonna sous vide them and see what kind of results we get. So let's season these up. I'm gonna start with a barbecue general from PS Seasoning at a good amount. This is a really thick cut of meat. Don't forget your edges. So all this seasoning that's on the cutting board does not go to waste. Pick up your steak and just kind of dab the edges into it like that. That is absolutely perfect. So I like a good amount of black pepper on my steaks. So I'm gonna add a little bit more 16 mesh black pepper. Just a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna grab my steaks and put them inside my vacuum sealer bag. So these large bags are the ones that I use to vacuum seal my briskets. That gives you an idea of how big these tomahawk steaks are. All right, let me seal up this bag. All right, look at that, nicely vacuum sealed. All right, so I've got my sous vide cooker set up at 130 degrees. We're gonna cook these steaks for 2½ hours. Now this sous vide machine is from Meet Your Maker. Check them out at the link below. You can get yourself a nice discount. So here are my tomahawk steaks going into the sous vide. So it looks like the steaks are gonna sink. They're pretty heavy, so I don't need to place anything on top. If your steaks are floating, make sure you put a plate or something on top to hold the steaks in the water. All right, so I'm gonna cover this up and we'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so while my steaks cook in my sous vide cooker, let's make some steak butter. I'm starting with 1½ sticks of softened butter. Now this is unsalted butter, just like that. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of this chimichurri from Alfregoni. This is their spicy chimichurri, and it is absolutely delicious. So about 1 tablespoon. I'm also gonna add a dash of kosher salt. All right, give this a good mix. So I like doing this ahead of time. This allows the herbs and the spices inside of our chimichurri to rehydrate with our softened butter. And I'm gonna add a little bit more of the chimichurri. So about 1.5 tablespoons. And check that out. Does that look delicious or what? Chimichurri steak butter. Oh yeah, stay tuned. All right, and just like that, it's been 2½ hours. So let me shut off my cooker here. All right, let's pull these steaks out. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, man. I mean, they don't look very appetizing right now, but we're still gonna grill these nice and hot. Just gonna dry up the surface with some paper towels. That way we get a nice sear on these beautiful tomahawk steaks. All right, so that's what the steaks are looking like. Let's head outside and grill them up. All right, so we're outside and I've got my Grill Grills Kong running really nice and hot. Now, just in case you're wondering, I'm just using plain charcoal, but I got a full basket of charcoal. And again, those grates are really nice and hot. So that's gonna get us a really nice sear on our tomahawk steaks. First steak, just like that. Press that down. Second tomahawk. Now I like my steaks a nice medium rare, so I'm gonna take my steak to 130 degrees internal. My wife, not so much. She likes her steaks cooked a little bit more well done, so I'm gonna cook hers to 145 degrees and then pull them. Now I've said this before, once we flip these steaks, we don't wanna flip them in the exact location that they're at right now. We wanna flip them where it's nice and hot. That's gonna be on these outside edges. All right, so it's been about a minute. Let's flip our steaks. Right here on the hot side. And look at those grill marks right there. Beautiful. So when I flip the steaks again, I'm gonna flip them right here in that middle section that's getting really nice and hot. All right, let me get an internal temperature. All right, so we're sitting at 123 degrees, 121 on that steak. All right, so now it's time to flip the steaks again. Again, I'm gonna flip them on that hot section of our grill grates, right here, just like that. This steak, right here. You guys remember that steak butter that I made? Oh yeah. We're gonna apply some on these steaks, just like that. So the nice thing about using these grill grates is you don't get those really heavy flare-ups. All right, so another minute has passed. Let's go ahead and flip these steaks. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful right there. I don't know if you guys can see those grill marks with all this smoke, but these steaks are looking amazing. So I'm gonna let them cook for another 30 seconds and I'll see you guys inside. All right, so the steaks are ready and I did have them resting for about 5 minutes, tented in foil. I think 5 minutes is sufficient for a good steak rest. But look at this, oh my goodness. Nice and juicy. This pan is just filled with juices and these steaks look absolutely amazing. I mean, look at this monster right here. Is that a thing of beauty or what? All right, let's cut into our steaks. You guys know I love showing you guys my new knives. This is my brand new 9-inch Shadow Black Dalstrong knife. Now this is a Pitmaster knife and it does have a bottle opener and these spikes at the end so you can pick up some meat when you're grilling. If you guys are interested in this Pitmaster knife, check out the link below and get yourself a 10% discount. All right, so I'm just gonna move one steak aside and slice into this bad boy right here. Take it off the bone. Oh man, smells so good. Look at that color. Whoo, man, this knife is nice. Really nice and sharp. Perfect color on the inside. Those grill marks, man, I don't know if it gets any better than this. Let's do a little Salt Bay action here. A little bit of kosher salt over the top. Let's see what we got right here. Look at that. Wall to wall pink. Sometimes with the lighting that I use, you can't see the center. It's nice and pink, but hopefully you guys can make it out. But man, let's give it a try and see how we did. All right, let's give this steak a try and see how we did. Look at that. Wall to wall pink. Nice and juicy. Smells absolutely amazing. Here we go. Mmm. All right, so first off, the flavor of this steak is absolutely amazing. It's got a really good grilled flavor and the seasoning is absolutely perfect. I really don't think a steak can get any better than this. This is an amazing piece of steak, but let's try it with some of our steak butter. Just a little bit like that. Here we go. That steak butter with its chimichurri is next level. This steak right here is by far the best steak that I've ever had. I honestly think that going forward, I want to sous vide all of my steaks if I get these results. The best thing about using a sous vide cooker is that if you're going to have a party, sous vide all of your steaks. When your guests arrive, 4 minutes tops and your steaks will be cooked. I hope you guys enjoyed this sous vide steak video. If this is your first time to my channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit BBQ. See ya.